everyone, it's Amber, and today I'm going to be doing my wrap up for the month of July. And this month I got a ton of reading done because I was on vacation for part of the month. Because of that, I read 8 books, guys. 8 books. This is the most I think I've ever read in a month before. And I know a lot of people read like 10 or like 12 books in a month, but for me, my average is around like 3 a month because of school and stuff like that, and I get like distracted from reading. But this month I read 8, so I'm super happy with that number. Let's just get right into the books that I read in the month of July. Overall, this was a great reading month for me. I not only read like a lot of books, I read books that I really enjoyed, and I think I only gave one of them less than 5 stars. So I enjoyed everything I read this month. It was all just what I needed, and it was just so good. And also there were 2 readathons this month, the booktubeathon and the biannual bibliothon, so I did read a lot for those readathons as well. So the first readathon that came up this month was the biannual bibliothon. So these are all the books that I got done from that. First one was Sweet Evil by Wendy Higgins. This was a great series. I read the whole thing. I'm just going to present the books to you guys in order in which I read them, so that's why this is first. So this is a great series, and I'm not going to say too much about it because I am planning on doing a full series review. This is such a great, addicting paranormal romance series. If you're really like looking for something like that, this is perfect. There's a really gorgeous guy named Kaiden in it, and like swoon. This is basically about children of demons that represent the 7 deadly sins, and there are a few other sins like thrown in there. It's not just 7. I think there's 12 of the main like demons, and this book is about their like offspring, and kind of they're called Nephilim. The main character, Anna, is one of them, and she is the daughter of the demon of substance abuse, and she meets this guy, and his father is the demon of lust. So like things happen, and it's very good. I gave this book a 5 out of 5 stars. It was just what I needed at that point. The writing is very addicting and very fast paced, and the characters are just on point. I love the characters in the series, and it's definitely a great paranormal romance ride. It's so great, and it's very addicting, and once you start, you literally cannot stop. And thank you, Paige from Pages and Pages, for recommending this to me, because I had bought it a while ago and I wasn't in any rush to read it, but then Paige recommended this to me and said that I should like definitely read it like immediately, so I did, and I loved it, so thank you. The next book I read this month, and this was also for the biannual bibliothon, was Percy Jackson and the Battle of the Labyrinth. Percy Jackson is such a great series. I love Percy Jackson. It's just so fun, and I'm sure you guys all know what this is about. It's just about a boy named Percy Jackson who is the son of Poseidon. All of his adventures and quests and friends and romance a little bit. This is just a great series overall, and I want to go to Camp Half-Blood, guys. I am going to leave and go to Camp Half-Blood. But I did listen to most of this on audiobook, and I read parts of it, I think. It's definitely become one of my new favorite series, and I did finish it 2 days ago, and so much good. I still have Heroes of Olympus though, guys. The next book I read was also for the biannual bibliothon, and that was The Unexpected Everything by Morgan Matson. I loved this book so much more than I thought I would. I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. It is such a great contemporary. I don't usually read contemporaries, but this one was just like exactly what I needed for a nice summer romance. This book is about this girl named Andy, and she has her whole summer planned out, and her dad is a politician, and when this huge scandal happens with her dad, she ends up having to change her summer plans. It's basically about kind of living in the moment and not planning everything out, and friendship and family, and it's just such a great book. There are also like emojis in it, which made it so much fun, and the love interest is just so adorable. He's a writer and he writes fantasy novels. As you can see, I have a lot of thoughts on this book, so I am planning on doing a review. That will be up in the next week or 2. The next book I read this month was Sweet Peril by Wendy Higgins. Again, I gave this 5 out of 5 stars. I loved this book. I love this series. It's just also great, and it's just, I highly recommend it if you're looking for like a paranormal romance. Then I read, if you could probably guess, like I'll give you a moment. I'm giving you a moment. Ready? I read Sweet Reckoning by Wendy Higgins. This was probably my favorite book in this series. So much happened in this book, and like I was like 90 pages in, and then I was like, oh my god, I feel like I'm at the end of the book, but so much, because so much has happened already. It was like, this book was so good, and the epilogue, guys, the epilogue. The next book I read this month was White Hot Kiss by Jennifer Armentrout. I love Jennifer Armentrout, as I've said, expressed to you guys before. I love her, and her books are amazing. I read the first book, and it was amazing. I am in the middle of the second book right now. I give this 5 out of 5 stars, by the way. This series basically follows this girl named Layla. She lives with these, like, creatures called wardens, and they're basically gargoyles, and their job basically is to protect the earth and the world from demons, and Layla is half warden and half demon. So that's kind of an issue, and it just follows her, and she meets this other guy, and he is a demon. Layla's kind of an outcast with the wardens, even though they've like accepted her into their house and their life, because she's half demon and she can't kiss anyone because she's half demon too, so that stirs up some issues. But this book is like so much more than that. The next book I read this month, I started earlier, but I kind of squeezed in the rest of it at the end. I only read like 40 pages earlier on in the month, so I listened to the rest on audiobook, and I love this series so much. That is Percy Jackson, The Last Olympian. I loved this book so much. I read parts of it, and I also listened to it on audiobook. I loved this book, and I loved this series, and I gave it 5 out of 5 stars. And also, I forgot to add this because I don't actually have a physical copy of this book because I borrowed it from my friend, and I also listened to part of it on audiobook when I was in the car, and that was Raven Boys by Maggie Stiefvater. I gave this a 4 out of 5 stars, or like a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It was hard to get into in the beginning because of the world, I guess, and the characters. Like, you had to get to know them before you could really enjoy it, but after I got into it, I really did enjoy it, so that's why I give it 4.5. I'm definitely going to continue on with this series and maybe read the rest of them on audiobook, or I might just buy the books to read them, but I haven't decided yet. I think it's better if you go into the series kind of not knowing much, because it's very character driven. It's basically about these 4 boys named Gansey, Adam, Noah, and Ronan, and this girl named Blue, and their kind of adventures to find this Welsh king. And that's all I'm going to tell you, because it's really hard to explain the plot of this without kind of spoiling anything. So that is it for my July wrap-up. I'd love to know if you want any reviews on any of the books I talked about. I am definitely reviewing The Unexpected Everything, and I'm probably going to review Sweet Evil series, but definitely let me know if you guys want any other reviews on any of the books I read, because I'd be glad to review any of them. And also let me know what you guys read this month, because I'd love to check out what books you guys read and see if maybe you guys read any of the same ones as I did. That is about it for this video. Make sure to give it a thumbs up if you guys enjoyed it, and you can also subscribe down below to get notified every time I post a new video. And I will also leave all my social media links down below in the description if you're interested in that. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!